Hey legends, welcome to the Thursday Sesh on Celtic Down Under. I'm your host Jared, and joining me tonight is Willie. How you going, Willie?
I'm going all right, Jared. I've had a busy couple of weeks. Learning to be an electrical inspector as a course. It's got a million and one different books. I've got to know every rule and regulation in them, so my head's a bit burst trying to learn it all.
Why would you want to do that?
More money.
Yeah, I know. That's the obvious answer, isn't it? I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
said
pretty
it because
much.
that was what you said in the group chat. WhatsApp. It was like, why would you want to do it? So I had to stir you up with it. So
It's
yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. So yeah, we're going to start off tonight's pod with a bit of a different take. For us, usually we leave the game preview stuff to the end of the pod, but we're going to go straight there with a talking about the upcoming Glasgow derby. Off the back of that, I've got about 20, I think like 25 random topic points about Celtic for us to discuss. So we'll get you guys to jump in the comments, give us some random numbers later on, and we'll just talk about them just completely off the cuff. So it could be interesting. Some hot takes about the derby, and then we'll finish off with our final thoughts as usual. So I think the starting point here is how are you feeling heading into the derby, Willie? We've got heavy vibes as saying here, butterflies in the tummy. How are you feeling?
I'm quite relaxed at the moment. They've got a very big game tomorrow morning, tomorrow night, wherever you are, whatever part of the globe you're on. So until I assess where they are at the end of that game, my nerves aren't really kicking in at this moment in time. I think that game will drain a lot of energy out of them, and I think we just need to stick to focus on playing our own game. But at this moment in time, I'm not too perturbed by it all.
Yeah, it's the same. So that's actually something I had written down was before the game. So for me, I it doesn't really feel like a derby week because we're playing one game, they've got another game, as you said there, Willie. So it's a bit of a weird one. So like yeah, before it, as you said, they've got to play a Europa League game, and how they come out of that is going to be a major impact for how they prepare for the Glasgow Derby. Like after they play that, I think they've got 48 hours or something like that, or was it 2.5 days till the Derby? So yeah, it's going to be a tough one for them. So do you think that game's going to have a major impact on how they prepare, Willie? What are your thoughts?
I think the game they'll play their game tomorrow, and then it'll just be rest days, and it'll be walking through drills for how they think they're going to attack us. Sort of set plays and things like that. I don't think there'll be much training sessions, full training sessions for them between now and the game itself. Whereas us, we've had a week's rest. We've seen in the past that sometimes doesn't make much of a difference to it, but I think in this instance it probably will because we've been playing every third day since the turn of the year, and it's only those last couple of weeks where that's started to ease off, and we've had weeks of rest actually, rather than just going from match day to match day, and probably the same as what they're going to be doing today, and not doing full training sessions and just going through walking sessions between games. So yeah, I think it will have a bit of an impact on them.
Yeah, that's how I view it as well. Like they're going to have to play, then it's going to be just all about recovery for them. So even though old staunch mate Ferguson's going to be over there wanting to get them to, we've got to train, we've got to get into them this way and get into them that way and blah blah this and blah blah. He's going to be trying to g everyone up, and I'm like, you'll get found out real quick. Like Mourinho will have his team up and about to make it as uncomfortable for him as possible in the European game. They're going to come out of that. They're going to, if they win, they're going to come out bruised, battered, and knocked around. If they lose, they're going to come out of it having just lost at home, being knocked out of Europe, and just completely like running out of gas. And we're coming in, as you're saying, Willie. We've had a full week to prepare and game plan for the match, and I think Brendan would have put that to great use, particularly when we played them last time. They were the fresher team. We've come out of it and come out of it with a bit of a bloody nose from the last derby. So for us, we're going to be all game plan, figure out what we've got to do. I just don't think they're going to have the legs to go with our speed up front, and for me, that's going to be a major part of it. But yeah, for me overall, I don't really feel like my general thoughts and feeling heading into the game is I don't really feel worried. I normally get this way about derbies anyway. It can be just before kickoff, and I'm like, yeah, we're going to smash them, and I still feel that way. But it's going to be a bit of an interesting one. So see if playing regularly is a thing. So just bring up some comments here. Andrew Galea is saying it's going to be a walk in the park. Smell the Glove is saying bring the Allen bastards on. I deliberately held off on that one, Smell the Glove, till past 5 minutes so we don't get done over by YouTube. Heavy Vibes is the last game we all counted our chickens. We beat 3-0. Yeah. And Maestro saying no taking it as a gimme, but I'm never afraid of games against that mob. And Maestro's also said this Celtic team looks fitter as the season went on. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. And the one for us Australians, for you, Willie, it's still going to be like a bit of an interesting one. 1 a.m. kickoff for you, but for us here, it's 11 p.m. I'm looking forward to it. It's great. So, Maestro's saying he's only concerned about us, move that ball well and with pace, yet one-touch football and use our speed. So it's going to be them trying to play route one, just lump it forward, and then when defence kick lumps out of us, and then us, we're going to be trying to play through the lines, quick passes, little triangles, get around them and take advantage of them, especially if they're leg weary. You get Dazen in the middle more than likely, and you just run an absolute muck. So what do you think are going to be the key areas of focus for us to win the game, Willie?
I think getting the ball down, playing it on the deck, like you say, get that triangular passing going, and just cutting your way through them is going to be the way to do it. That right hand side for me is key. Johnson, Kuhn, and Engels, the way they play together, you know what I mean? Johnson likes to put the ball to Kuhn and then try and overlap him, but if Kuhn isn't available, or if Kuhn tries to track back and Johnson isn't there to give it to, Engels always makes himself available. So as a pivot point for the two of them to try and keep their play going. So for me, the right hand side is probably that right hand side is going to come up against Hefty, and I don't really rate Hefty. I know they think he's going to go for big money, but I think he's a player that we can get in and get at. Well, it'll be Hefty plays on the left, and they play Ridvan out of position on the right. So, but then Ridvan against Jota, I think Jota could have a field day against that wee boy. I think Jota could really get in about him, and even if Yilmaz is to get past Jota, he's got Schlupp to try and run in against. So I think the wide areas and getting the ball, how you deliver that ball from back to front, getting it out wide and getting it into the box, is going to be key to us winning that.
I actually think that, yeah, as you said there, Willie, we've got them. We've got them for toast out on the wings. We've got the speed, we've got the skill. Our fullback situation now, you got Schlupp in on the left and you got Johnson on the right. That's going, along with the guys in front of him, that's going to take away the time and space those guys had out there last time. Okay, if they get past Jota, they've got to deal with big Schlupp behind him. If they get past Kun, they've got Johnson there who doesn't mind clattering people, right? So we've got that physicality, we've got that technical ability in perfect balance on both sides. So I'm really liking that. The issue where we got caught at and absolutely burnt last time playing and was in the middle of the park. And if I'm going to be a bit picky, the last few games, our midfielders looked better when Engels was in the six. And then you had Luke and Rio playing together as eights, just alternating. I love that dynamic. So it's good to have that up our sleeve because we know Kelmac is going to start. He's our captain, right? So the middle of the park is going to be key for me because it doesn't matter if it's, and John Clements has just beat me to the punch right here. I was just about to say this. Poor Tavernier moves to centre back and then Dazen moves to centre forward. Exactly. So it's going to be one of them where I'm not worried about the striker position. It's the middle of the park. And you know they want to get at it. They want to mix it up in there. And Ferguson's going to have them going out there trying to clatter and kick lumps out of people. So we need to be smart about it. As I said, quick one-touch football, get the ball moving. We've got the skill all over the park around that. We've just got to make sure we're solid. Our centre-back pairing is good, but we've got to make sure the middle of the park is, I don't know, it's the easiest way to say it. Just nice and tight. I won't go too bad there, but I think that's going to have a massive say in it.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I look at Rangers when they played Fenerbahce the other week. They moved to 3-4-2-1. They played three at the back with the wing backs tucked in to make a back five. I kind of think they might go with this approach, and that way they can push their wing backs into the midfield. Czerny and Demande can drop a little bit deeper, and they might try and strangle the midfield. But one thing I did when I didn't actually watch the Rangers game, I just looked at the formations and the tactics on FotMob to see sort of where the possession, where the majority of the play was. And Fenerbahce had a lot of the ball. So if they are to play this 3-4-2-1 that they did play against Fenerbahce away, then they're going to surrender a lot of possession to us. So, and if they do surrender a lot of possession to us, that could be quite painful because we have the ability to hurt them. But for me, the key is just play our own game. You know what I mean? Just don't worry about what they're going to try and do. Just get the ball down, play our game, and we'll have the quality to beat them. We're hurting from the last game. Obviously, Brendan Rodgers will be hurting from that result more than anybody else. So for me, it's a game that we must win. Like, you know what I mean? It's just to sort of reassert our dominance on this fixture because they've won one out of the last, 300 or 400 that we've played. So, it's time to get back to winning ways.
Yep. So I'm just going to go through some comments here for a bit, Willie. So Heavy Vibes is saying, from our defence to mid is key. We can't be overrun. Smell the Glove is saying, Staunchy McStaunchface will send them out kicking and assaulting, knowing Stephen McLean and Cheaton Beaton will turn the other way. On that, Willie, referee appointments. We'll just try that. No, let's just say I didn't expect anything different.
I didn't expect Stevie McLean. I don't think Stevie McLean's good enough to be managing Glasgow, refereeing or trying to manage a game between Celtic and Rangers. I just think he's one of the poorest refs in Scotland. But then there isn't any really good refs. Nick Walsh is probably the best of a bad bunch at this present moment in time. But John Beaton, Stephen McLean, and Alan Muir cannot referee Celtic without their unconscious bias kicking, and it's been proven in the past. And for any of them three to be allowed anywhere near Celtic fixtures is an absolute disgrace. Like, they're as staunch come, like, you know what I mean? And allowing those orange bastards in the middle of the pitch or in the VAR room or assistant VAR whilst we're playing football is just not acceptable. Like,
Yep, 100% agree with you. So the next one here from Maestro95 is the right-hand side used to be the strongest part, but now I feel down the left has become a hell of a lot better. Schlupp and Jota. The thing with down the right is, yeah, Schlupp and Jota on the left. Schlupp and Jota have done well on the left. On the right, AJ and Kuhn, they played a lot of football. And I think us going back to that one game a week is actually the perfect time for them to get a bit of freshness back into them because, I really rated what I saw from Kuhn in our last game. And, I think it's time for those guys to, I think we're really well balanced out there. Maddie is saying Sevco will be lagging after Thursday no matter the result, so we can hammer them. Just wait till you see my score prediction, Maddie, and you'll understand exactly how much I agree with you. Andrew Galera is saying two wingers who like to run at the fullbacks. They won't handle it, especially with Maeda running everywhere. Yep. Smell the Glove. When we're talking about the midfield, Willie, I hope the good Rio turns up, not his lesser twin. And then off the back of that, Andrew said, did Engels start the last derby? So I had a look. I've got the starting lineup here from the last derby. So it was Casper in goals, Johnson, Carter Vickers, Scales and Taylor at the back. Middle of the park was McGregor, Bernardo and Hatate. So no, Engels didn't start. And up front was Kyogo with Dazen on the left and Kuhn on the right. And then on the bench, we made 4 subs. Ida, Valle, McCowan and Engels came on. So a bit of change there. I think we're a lot stronger now. McLaughlin's very doubtful, but if Fenerbahce can smash them tonight, they could win this game for us before a ball's kicked. Would that be Mourinho paying back a debt from Seville, Willie?
I'll never forgive him for that. Like, I mean, that still hurt. I've never watched that. I'm like many Celtic fans. I've never watched that game back yet. I mean, that one hurt. Like, the cheating and the diving and the time wasting, and then coming out, I am the special one and all that after it. Or was it the year after when he won the European Cup? But he just, nah. There's no forgiveness there for me, I'm afraid.
Maestro 95 saying, could you imagine Schlupp in the middle? And then Heavy Vibes are saying Schlupp in the middle if it turns into a fight. And then Andrew is saying Engels is getting to tuck in on the right when we lose possession. He's doing the job well. 100%. And Smell the Glow is saying third derby this season, cheat and beaten, either been ref or VAR. So, yeah. Maddie's saying, I'll never forgive him either.
Right.
So, with all that in mind, Willie, we'll move it along a bit. Are you expecting this to be a high-scoring match or a tough slog? For me, I think it's going to be a tough slog probably for the first half, and in the second half, we're just going to blow them apart. That's how I think the game's going to play it without giving away my score prediction. How do you think that'll go, Willie?
Um, right now, part of me thinks we could go out there and blow them away, but the reasonable side of me seems to think this is going to be a tighter game than we're going to hope for, and I think we'll win. It'll be a win for the good guys, but I don't think it's going to be as big as we'd like. Right, so. But just if I can quickly circle back, I think this is Engels' game to shine. He's really been putting in some good performances, and his name's come up in the comments a few times. I actually think this is going to be his game to shine in, and it's his time. He's shown in Europe he can do it. He's shown in domestic games. He's got the composure to do it, and he's shown when he steps up to take penalties, he's got the composure to do that as well. And I think this is the game where we will see a performance and a half from young Engels.
Come on, Willie. You just said penalties like we're going to get one with those refs.
We'll definitely not get a penalty with them, and no chance. Like Tavernier will get a shot from the spot, and I almost guarantee that. Like.
Yeah, well, that's what it'll be to make it 1-1. That's the way I look at it. We'll score early, then that be 1-1. But yeah, well, so we've got Maestro saying win the battles, the war is won. Andrew's saying I think we'll be out of sight by half time. Mazzano is saying Thursday will be major exertion for them. We'll have a huge impact. McLaughlin's saying 3-1. I think they'll score first too. And then Heavy Vibes is saying it's been a while since we hogged them. And then Smell the Glove saying, hate to say it, but going to be tight as normal. They don't really go with them playing tonight and will be tired. Never affected them in the League Cup final after playing Spurs. So, with that, I'm going to go on a little tangent here, Willie. So, Rangers will have 2,400 ferals inside of Celtic Park as away fans return to the contest. They have to be heading into the stadium approximately 2 hours before kickoff and will be held back after the game before departing Celtic Park. So, how soon, Willie, do you think they're going to start trying to leave the stadium early?
Half time, hopefully. Before, maybe. If it's going well.
Yeah. No, I just think it's good that, okay, I didn't want those ferals inside our stadium, right? Do not want them there. I think they are absolute idiots. But as someone who only ever watches these games, the derbies on TV from the other side of the world, it does make it a bit more exciting when you've got two sets in there and there's a lot more noise and all that. Just purely from the TV point of view, that's why I can see. That's how I'm saying. I'm not one of those people in there getting peppered with coins, having cups of piss thrown at them, bottles of Bucky thrown, all that sort of stuff. I hope the new net setting they have around them in the stadium to cage them in works good to stop that. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of an interesting one, all things considered.
Yeah, it definitely will be. I mean, I've been at some of the old firm games when we've had 8,000 Rangers fans there. I was just trying to Google one there. We lost 4-2, and I remember Pedro Mendes scoring a 30-yard screamer right in front of me, and I just sitting there in silence while 8,000 of them go nuts. It does. You see it last weekend when you had 7,000 Hibs fans there. It made for a great day. You know what I mean? The Celtic fans had that try and outsing the Hibs fans. The Hibs fans made a lot of noise. It does make for a good atmosphere, but I wouldn't have been letting them in first. They spat the dummy out. They caused this whole situation. This mess is of their own doing, and I would have left it for them to be the ones to open the gates first. So it would either be the next Glasgow derby after the split or the first one next season. That should have been the fixture with the fans returning. It should have been Celtic fans being allowed back into to, to the shit pit first rather than vice versa. But we are showing that we're the bigger club. We've extended the wee olive branch out. We've given them 2,500 seats. They've got the netting up. There's going to be no coins be able to hit them. There'll be nothing raining down on them, as you say. So it's going to be safer for their fans. So let's see if they can reciprocate it when the next fixture comes around.
Yep. And the thing as well, like, just if there's any plumbers in the east end of Glasgow who are looking for a few cash jobs or whatever, probably on Monday, go outside of Celtic Park and see if you can pick up some work, because once they get pumped, a few of the toilets might cop a bit of might up, or they'll drink them dry, one or the other. So could be an interesting one.
If they're going in there 2 hours early, the toilets will be drunk dry within an hour. Like,
Yeah, Maestro saying drop the nets on them if they throw anything. The nets are great and everything, but the only issue is if they throw cups of piss, it'll still get through. It's pretty much all they can do. Yeah, that Ferrell, they would do that. So, which Celtic players do you think will have the biggest impact on us winning the game? Now, I know you said Engels, this is a game set up for him, and I'm all about that. But other than Engels, who do you think is going to have the biggest impact? I'm going to go on a little tangent here, Willie. It ties into a comment that I'm just trying to find it here. John Clement said, their only tactic will be to try and rough up Trusty, and the compliant ref will let them. I honestly think the form Trusty and Carter Vickers have been in together, those two are going to absolutely boss it. And I just think this is a game that's set up for Trusty to have an absolute blinder.
yeah, I can't disagree with you there. I've said Engels, and I also think this is a game where Maeda will excel in. He's got, if Rangers play a back four, then Tavernier has to be marked just to try and keep a hold of Jota. And if they play that back three, then he sits on the inside and he's got Maeda to deal with. So I think Tavernier might be in for a bit of a rough ride. Hopefully, he will be in for a rough ride. But what do the commenters think? Is there anyone else you guys think you might want to add into that mix? Well, oh, here
You
comes Jared back now.
completely cut out, Willie, so I have no idea what was said, what you've just said.
I've just said that I think Maeda is going to be key, and Tavernier. I was just going on about how Tavernier, if they play a back four, he's got Jota running at him. If they play a back three, which he's in the left, the right hand side of, he's going to have Maeda running at him. So I think Jota could be in for I think Tavernier could be in for a torrid time.
Yeah, just
Oh, he's away again. Lachlan P saying there, this is one of his last chances on the big game stage this season to impress any potential admirers. I think you're right there too, actually, McLaughlin. He was a bit missing in the last game, if I mind rightly, like, and he has drifted in and out from time to time this season. So it would be good to see him put in a storming performance. It's actually in my notes here when I've said it. The Hatate needs to be at us from the offset. There's no room for passengers in this game.
that's better now, Willie. I can hear you properly. So I think
Yeah,
I had some internet issues. So sorry, everyone. You hear me all right, Willie?
I've got you loud and clear, mate. Like we were just discussing Hatate there.
Oh, geez, this is so not working for me. So starting lineup, Willie. What are you thinking it'll be?
For me, it'll be Schmeichel, Johnson, CCV, Trusty, Schlupp, Kalmark in the anchoring midfield, Hatate, Engels, Jota, Kuhn, and Maeda up front.
Yeah, so for me, the starting lineup will be the exact same one that played in the cup on the weekend. So I think we'll go ahead with that. My score prediction,
Yeah.
Willie, will be it will be 1-1 at half time, and we will go on to win 5-1.
I'll settle for that. I've gone for a 2-0 win with Maeda and Ida scoring, and Ida will score late on, and I think Tavernier will miss the penalty that he always gets awarded by his mate Stephen McLean from the Lodge.
Fair enough. Well, what we'll do is we'll keep this to a short pod tonight, Willie, because of I'm having internet issues. So
Yeah, no worries.
make it easy. So what we'll do is we'll just go a hot takes for the derby. We'll go our final thoughts, and we'll wrap it up. So I think that's probably the safest option for us. So I don't want it to sit here and just be awkward for the listeners and everything. So we'll do that. So hot take for the derby, a serious one. They're
Serious
gonna.
one.
Yep.
Oh, on you go. Sorry.
Now
No,
go on,
on you
Willie.
go.
You go first.
Serious one. I think we will absolutely blitz them in the first half. We'll score and we'll run out in the second half. They'll have a bit of a. I think they'll have a bit of a resurgence in the second half, but we'll still win 2-0.
My one is that if Raskin plays, he's going to get red carded. Old Barry's going to get in his ear and get him all G'd up, and he's just going to clatter someone and be sent off. Silly one.
I'll let you go first for that one while I think about it.
All right, a silly one will be either the boys or the Green Brigade are going to have a banner, and it's going to be like a countdown to such and such wins to the treble, and it's going to have like a number, and it's going to have 5, and at the end of they're going to show it at 5. At the end of the game, they're going to change it from 5 to 4 on the countdown.
That'll be pretty cool, actually. Right? Silly one for me. A Rangers fan will try and enter the pitch and have a go at one of his own players for being rubbish.
Out and out ridiculous one. For me, Barry Ferguson is going to be busted after they lose. Him and his coaching staff are going to be busted out the front of Celtic Park, posing with the Caesar statue, because that's the closest any of those clowns is going to get to touching a European trophy.
It's hard to top that one. A really ridiculous one. Barry Ferguson will go out and shake Brendan Rodgers' hand before the game and wish him all the best. Not
Yep,
going to happen.
yeah, so we'll just wrap up the pod there, Willie. So we'll go to our final thoughts, keep it short and sweet, and let everyone go about their days and everything like that. So you got a final thought?
Daredevil season 3. It's a new one. It's been a while since they've released anything from these Marvel shows, so it's about halfway through the season now. It's well worth a watch.
So for me, I've rediscovered my love of the show Survivor. I love that growing up. I always wanted to do Survivor when I was younger. I'd go on it, and me and the missus have been watching a few episodes, a few seasons now, and I'm so up and about. Like, I so want to get out there and have a crack at it. It would be unbelievable to get on Survivor. One of my few outfits I'd take if you ever made it would be a Celtic shirt. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Be back on Monday for what was affectionately referred to on Monday's pod in the comments as a jizz cast, because we will be celebrating that much. It's going to be some copious amounts of absolute feralness, and yeah, it's going to be great. Do some hun scalping on Monday, so really looking forward to it. Let's get the win. Have a great weekend, whatever you do, and yeah, hail, hail.
Hail, hail.